You didn't end up here by accident. Not because some algorithm pushed this your way. No, something inside you broke a long time ago. And today, for whatever reason, you finally stopped pretending you didn't notice. Let me ask you something. Answer honestly, to yourself. When did you last wake up truly wanting the day ahead? Not just surviving it, not grinding through, but actually craving it. If you're pausing to think, that's your answer. Most call it burnout. I'm exhausted, they say. Just need a vacation. It'll pass. But you know better. You've taken those breaks, chased the rest, and returned to the same hollow void. This isn't tiredness. It's an alarm blaring inside you. It's rung for years. You just trained yourself to ignore it. Today, we listen. Together.
There's a specific kind of life that looks fine from the outside. Steady job, roof over your head, people around you, everything in its place. And that's exactly why it's so hard to explain to other people and even to yourself. Why it feels like you're slowly disappearing. Not collapsing, not screaming, just fading. You run through the rituals of the day. Alarm, shower, coffee, commute, work, phone, food, show, sleep, repeat. And at some point you realize you're not living this day. You're serving time, like a sentence. This isn't clinical depression. This is something more insidious. This is existential anesthesia. A state where you function perfectly on the outside, but feel almost nothing on the inside. Or you feel something, a low, constant hum of anxiety, which you drown out with scrolling, food, work, alcohol, Netflix, anything, as long as you don't have to sit with yourself in the silence. Because in the silence, that's where the question lives, the one you're terrified to ask. Is this it? Is this actually my life? You were never taught how to live. You were taught how to comply. From childhood, you were handed a very clear script. Study, graduate, get a job, be stable, don't make waves, start a family, buy things, be grateful. And you tried. Maybe you even succeeded by every metric on the list. But nobody told you the one thing that mattered most. That script wasn't written for you. It was written for a system that runs better when you don't ask too many questions. Not a conspiracy, not a villain, just a machine that rewards obedience with just enough to keep you from rebelling. A paycheck, a pat on the head, a few likes. Enough to stop you from burning it down, not enough to make you feel alive. That's the golden cage. And the cruelest part? You're the one keeping the door shut. Because the outside is terrifying, and the inside is at least familiar. Familiar pain always feels safer than unknown freedom.
That's why most people stay, not because they don't feel it, but because they're afraid to feel it all the way through. I want to tell you something that maybe no one has said to you before. What's happening to you is not a breakdown. It's not an anxiety disorder that needs to be medicated away. It's not weakness you need to push through. It's not a midlife crisis that will resolve itself. What you're feeling is an awakening. Painful, uncomfortable, unwelcome, but an awakening. You know what every person who has ever genuinely changed their life has in common? Not money, not connections, not some rare talent. They all passed through a moment when the pretending stopped, when the voice inside got louder than the voice of fear, when the exhaustion from living a lie finally outweighed the terror of the truth. That moment has different names: breaking point, crisis, rock bottom. But it's always the same thing: the moment you become honest with yourself. And if you're watching this, you might already be in that moment. The only question is, what are you going to do with it? Every one of us carries a part of ourselves we keep hidden. Not from other people, from ourselves. Desires that felt too big, anger you were ashamed to show, dreams you abandoned yourself before anyone else had the chance to mock them. You learned to be convenient for your parents, for your partner, for your colleagues, for society. You trimmed yourself down to fit other people's expectations, and you did it so skillfully for so long that you forgot what you looked like before the cutting. Psychologists call this the false self, the version of you that you present to the world: functional, socially acceptable, safe. But behind it lives someone else. The real one. The one who gets angry and has every right to. The one who wants something different and doesn't owe anyone an apology for it. The one who is exhausted from pretending everything is fine.
And as long as you keep ignoring that person, they will keep breaking through. Through irritability with no clear source. Through tears in the car to a song you don't even know. Through that sharp, cutting feeling that you're living someone else's life, but not your own. Meeting your real self isn't meditation, and it isn't affirmations. It's an honest conversation with the person you've been avoiding for years. It might be the most terrifying conversation of your life. It's also the most necessary. I could give you beautiful words right now, tell you it's all going to work out, that the universe has your back, that you've got this. But that would be a lie, and you've had enough of those. So here's the truth. Nobody is coming to save you. Not a therapist, not a partner, not a book, not a video, not me. Not because help is useless, but because only one person can change your life, and you already know who that is. We live in a culture that sells salvation. Courses, coaches, systems, frameworks. Do this one thing and become a different person in 21 days. And people buy it over and over because it's so much more comfortable to believe there's an external solution than to admit the answer is inside, and the road there goes through pain. Real change isn't comfortable. It doesn't require inspiration. It requires a decision. It doesn't require motivation. It requires action in the exact moment you least want to move. It doesn't require perfect conditions. It requires the willingness to start in the imperfect ones you have right now. Taking responsibility for your life doesn't mean blaming yourself for your past. It means saying, whatever happened before, from here, I choose for myself. Not a dramatic declaration, a quiet, firm decision, the kind that changes everything. You know what needs to change. Not everything, not all at once, but something specific, you know. Maybe it's the job that
Maybe it's the relationship where you stopped being yourself a long time ago. Maybe it's the city, the habit, the lifestyle, the role, the one you wear like a coat that never fit. You know. And you know exactly why you haven't changed it yet. Fear, not abstract, specific. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of losing the little you have. Fear that you'll find out you're not as extraordinary as you quietly believed. That's normal. Fear isn't a sign that you should stop. Fear is a sign that you've arrived at the edge of something real. On the other side of that edge, there are no guarantees, no promises that it will all work out. But there is something you don't have right now. You. Uncut. Not convenient. Not anesthetized. Alive. And here's the thing. You won't jump when you feel ready. Because ready is a myth. Nobody ever jumps ready. People jump when the cost of staying finally exceeds the cost of leaping. You already feel that cost. Every single day. I don't know your story. I don't know what you've been through. What broke you? What holds you in place? What you lost somewhere along the road to a normal life. But I know one thing. What you're feeling right now. This mix of recognition, weight, and something that almost feels like hope. That's not an accident. It's not the algorithm. You brought yourself here. Because somewhere inside you, the decision has already been made. It just hasn't become words yet. Let it. Write one word in the comments. Any word that names what you're ready to let go of. Work. Silence. Fear. The mask. The role. The waiting. One word. This isn't magic. This is the first act of honesty with yourself. Public. Small. But real. Because change doesn't start with grand plans. It starts with the moment you stop pretending. Even just to yourself. You watch this until the end. Most people don't. Because it's uncomfortable. Because it lands somewhere it wasn't supposed to. You watched it.
That already says something about you. The next video is about how to actually begin. Not from zero, not on Monday, right now, from exactly where you are. It's already waiting for you.